Welcome to Fentor. Sorry about the croaky voice. Hopefully it will last this recording. Anyway, I'm heading across the fens on the GS. It's a beautiful autumnal day, bit chilly. It's got the heated grips on, but I'm all nice and warm under my protective clothing. I'm heading to have a look at the latest addition to BMW motorcycles, which is a BMW R1250GS. Looks like it's pretty much exactly the same as my bike, except for two main things. The major thing being the engine, and also a display, digital display, that's no longer an option, but it was on this bike until recently. So we'll see how those things add up. I want to find is it a better bike? Well, it is a better bike, but how much better is it? To be honest, this is more than fast enough. It has so much low end torque, plenty of top end. It's a pretty quick machine. Even when fully loaded with all the panniers, I'm able to make good progress. So never been a problem. The new GS has something called shift cam technology, which we'll have a look at, that allows the valves to open to variable degrees depending on the load required and RPM. It should mean at least as good fuel economy, but more power, and more importantly for GS users, more torque. Quite a lot more torque, so I understand. So we'll have a look at those figures. Let's get to Balderston and get out on the bike. Let's see the difference. What's the difference to ride? Is it noticeable? Is it worth upgrading? These are the sort of questions some of you guys with one of the GS models built between 2014 and this year. Or is the 1250GS, is it really worth upgrading for? We'll see. So what I'm going to be looking for on the new GS 1250 is the really that mid-range pull that most GS owners really appreciate. That tug, that rapid progress you can make without having to rev the engine to death. It's sort of, I mean, just so good. But how much better is the new one? And how much harder does that pull? I mean, I'm changing up at 5,000 revs there and plenty of tug. And yet we've got right round to 9. I don't think I've ever been anywhere near 9,000 revs on this bike. Just probably make a lot more noise. So it's that mid-range pull that I'll be looking for. Right, I'm now on the 1250GS. My throat's going silly again. Here we go. I'll put my sat-nav in. So that's my sat-nav, which is the current version anyway. Navigator 6. It sounds different. It's got more of a turbine whistle to it than my bike. There's certainly a big speedo display there, digital display. And the complaints with the display on my bike by many people, I'm not that bothered, but was its lack of ability to, if you really to know how fast you're going. But on this, you can certainly see how fast you're going, no problem. So, what initial impressions do I have? Yeah, that's the same so far, but certainly a quieter and more pleasant engine note, sweeter sound. So I'll tick over. It sounds... does it sound as nice as my GS? Yes, a bit rattlier sound. But certainly, here we go. Apart from the sharper clutch. Yeah, it's got a bit more pull in that mid-range. And I'm sure I felt the anti-wheelie mechanism cut in then briefly. So I didn't record a bit just back there where I opened it up, but it's quick. In fact, once you're on a open A road, it's quite substantially quicker, I would say. But my my bloody voice is going. Yeah, quite a lot quicker. Mid-range seems to be a lot better. See how it copes with this nice road up here. One of the things though is the old speedo, 3 miles an hour over, 40 on the sat nav, 43 here. The GPS correct sat nav is correct, we'd hope, being GPS. Speedos have to, by law, not read under, so the manufacturers generally tend to read over a little bit. That mid-range is quite something. Now, one of the things with my bike is I leave it on road most of the time. I don't tend to change it to dynamic. We're in dynamic now. Does it make a lot of difference? It doesn't on my bike, apart from the suspension. Does this feel better? Yeah, it feels even quicker now. Sharper throttle response. And I would say that the quick shifter is a little bit smoother than my 1200 GS, so definitely a smoother ride. The only thing that's not quite so good is the clutch being that little bit sharper. Handling, cornering feels exactly the same. Don't feel any difference whatsoever. Cruise control works the same. Yeah, so the digital speedo is great, but it's a shame it reads over 2 miles an hour, 30. GPS speed 32 indicated there. So at higher speeds that's going to be even more inaccurate. Now, I'm not sure, but I've got a feeling that this is revving a lot lower once in top gear. That extra mid-range torque allows it to rev lower. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I just imagining it? Is it because the rev counter is digital and it just makes it look that? We'll have to look. So what I shall do is we'll get a GPS speed in a moment. At 60 miles an hour somewhere, and later we'll check what the RPM in 6th gear is, 60 miles an hour on my GS, and we'll know the difference. Is the gearing different? It may just be the display that makes me think it's different. Right, so I'm not going to get 60 along here. So that's 60 miles, well, 2 many bumps and too many corners for me to judge that. Going to put the back to road. As these roads are bumpier, and I need a comfortable ride, thank you. What a beautiful autumnal afternoon. Absolutely perfect for riding bikes. Wonderful. And, well, better bike to ride. Comfortable, powerful, does everything so well, this machine. It can be on your plastics rocket, what are they called? Plastic covered, a rocket bike, sports bike. Not for me, thanks. Yeah, just crippled afterwards. I couldn't make the most of it anyway. I can't make the most of a GS, so but I can certainly enjoy the comfort of being here and having fun at the same time. Top bike, that's why they sell so many. As usual, I'm going to head to the old airfield. We'll park the bike up and have a look over it. But when we get back, park it next to my GS and we'll look at the differences, if any. And I don't think there'll be many. The differences are to be felt more than seen. However, BMW brought out some new colour schemes, which is all good. We'll look at this one, and they've got a, this isn't the Rallye version, but we'll get into the showroom. They've got a Rallye version in there. We'll have a look at that as well before I head back on my GS. Does it handle the bumps as well as my one? Yep, exactly the same. So I would guess that the suspension is identical. Just approaching the old airfield here. The leaves are all turning on the trees. Ooh, a bit dirty there. Don't want to get the bike too dirty. Go over here. Here we are, the BMW R1250GS. This one is looking quite nice, and it's black, grey with yellow bits, livery. So what are the differences? What are the differences between this for instance, my 2017 GS Rallye? Well, spoked wheels, of course, are on the Rallye one. There is a Rallye version of this we'll look at when we get back to the showroom. Otherwise, everything else the same, except for the engine. Doesn't look a lot different, apart from this sort of swishy bit and shift cam written on here. But of course, the difference in performance is really quite considerable. I'm feeling that extra pull, and I'm impressed so far. Yeah, it's going to make especially if you're on a long distance tour, just that extra power, that extra tug, to make it that bit easier. You can be up another gear, that, you know, just that bit more relaxed riding. It's going to be a good machine. Other thing I've noticed is the brake calipers now say BMW rather than Brembo at the front. Is that a cost saving? I'm sure they're just as good. don't feel any different at all to riding my bike. The brakes feel exactly the same. The suspension feels the same. Everything feels absolutely the same, except the engine. Now this one actually says Brembo, look. So, don't know what's going on, but anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's just a name. I'm sure they're absolutely fine. Quite like the digital display, apart from the inaccuracy of the speedo. But there we are. We know that's the case with all speedometers. What else is there to say about it? Not a lot. Pretty much the same otherwise. It's good. It's a good bike. Let's do a bit more riding. Actually, well, you know what I'm going to say. It's time for some nice coffee. And I'm going to head off and find a coffee shop. Here we go. The more I'm riding this new GS 1250, the more I'm enjoying riding the GS 1250. It's so much more lively in terms of the throttle response, the pull. And because of that extra torque, it really is a considerable difference. I believe it's around 15 pounds per foot or whatever, I don't know. I'll put the figures up in the screen now so that you can see the difference and the percentage difference, and that really gives you a feel then. I mean, it just, wow, it just pulls so much better than my bike. And I've always been, the thing is, I've always been very happy with mine. But how slow is it going to feel? The beautiful village of Polbrook on an autumn afternoon. There goes my voice again. Will I have any voice left? I would say you could even call this bike sporty. Why? It's just that the engine is snappier, definitely sportier feel. Oh my god, the pull is something else. It's not all about horsepower, you know. Torque, don't forget that. And the way this boxer engine pulls is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You don't want engines that produce stuff at high revs on an adventure bike. It's at mid-range. This has got it right. BMW have got it right. Right, here we are in Oundle as usual. My usual sort of test route. Whoops. And time to find a coffee. Look at the sound going through town. This has got a really nice sound to it. You get a sound smoother. It's got that sort of turbine-y whistle like I mentioned earlier. Not dissimilar from my bike, but it's a nicer note. I mean, I'm talking about the engine itself rather than the exhaust note. Right, coffee time. Let's see where we can park. I just had a rather excellent coffee, so now I'm happy again. Not that I was unhappy earlier. In fact, I'm very happy because it's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. So I do hope the GoPro's picking up, and I'm on a superb bike. Probably the best bike I've ever ridden, I would say, for riding and comfort and performance. So some of the questions you guys are going to have is this worth an upgrade if you've got a 2014 to 2017 2018 R1200GS, a liquid cooled one, You gotta, really, I can't answer that. So at the end of the day, you need to get out on one of these yourself and see if that difference is worth it. Now, if you're actually out, if you've not already got a GS, and you're thinking, well, I could go for the old 1200, maybe I'll get one of those cheap, or the old stocks there, or I'll get a year-old one, or I'll buy one of these brand new. Do you know, if you can afford the difference, you should get this. Absolutely. Just the way that pulls, it's so good. I mean, it's one issue with this bike above mine, absolutely worse than mine, is it's going to be a bit, or not a bit, quite a lot riskier for the license. You don't really need to be revving this bike. Quick. This bike really is a lot quicker. A lot quicker. It's too easy to go fast in this machine. Too easy. This beautiful road. Ash trees. Yeah, ash trees coming, losing their leaves. Lovely sky. Should really be out taking photographs. Anyway, we're having just as much fun not taking photographs riding this super bike. So, for those of you who really never go fast at all, in fact, potter along, does it make any difference having this to the 1200GS? How is it for tootling? Are there any benefits to having this bike? I don't really think there are. Just the same, you can potter along. I think it pulls some lower revs actually, without juddering. Below 2,000 revs there. Thank you. Let's go into a high gear. We're in 5th gear, 20 miles an hour. Ooh, that was quite good. It pulled. So, for pottering along, it is better. Right, I'm going to get to 60 miles an hour. Now there's a straight piece. Cruise control on, exactly 60. Let's get it to 60 on the digital. Let's pull out. Thank you. Maybe not. Yes, no. Let's stay there. Thank you. Will I get to do my speed test? I'm probably not going to end up be able to do it, am I? 52. Right. 59, 60. So 60 miles an hour on here. We're at 3,500 and a bit. Probably 3,600 RPM, I would say. A real 60 miles an hour. Indicated 63 on the digital speedo. So interesting. There really are attractive villages and roads out here. Just get out of Peterborough, heading west, and it's wonderful. Stone-built houses, what look like attractive country pubs, nice coffee shops, of course, and all sorts. These are lovely roads. Look at that, it's just effortless. I'm hardly touching or something. One of the things I just found out is that the hill hold works better on this bike than my bike. So my bike has the hold, which I'll show you. Here's a small hill here, you can tell. I'm going to come to a halt, put it in neutral. There we are. And I'm not going to put it on hill hold, and we're rolling back there because it's a hill. Now I'm going to pull on the brake, put it hard, and you might see down here an H. Now the bike is holding the brakes so we don't roll backwards. And pop it in gear. The H is still on, and you just simply pull away. Now on my bike I have to also then release it using the brake. So it's good, but not as good as this. This is much better. Unless I'm doing something wrong on my one, but this, or maybe my one doesn't work properly, but this works properly. Super. Brilliant feature, especially if you're touring somewhere with lots of panniers and it's quite hilly, twisty roads, whatever. That's going to really help, having that to hold you on a hill, helps you put away. Brilliant. It's a nice feature. One of the things I'm not going to talk about is this screen. At the end of the day, it's information for the rider. I believe it has some sort of built-in sat-nav, but then if you've got one of these, really you should have one of these. The Garmin or the BMW Motorrad Navigator, made by Garmin, then you've got a much better system. Oh, there goes my throat again. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about that. Reason being because it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? But if you want to know more about it, have a search on YouTube. I'm sure many other YouTubers are going to be will have gone through that before, because it was on as an option on the bike before anyway. Thank you very much. So will Fentor be upgrading? Not at the moment. Reasoning, my bike's not that old. It's a 2017 bike, just over a year old, and therefore the issue there being is depreciation from new quite large. So the cost to upgrade to this would be significant, and I think I maybe need to wait a little bit longer to do that, if I'm going to do it. The other thing is, I was thinking maybe would I like the Adventure? Well, there isn't the Adventure version of this yet. I hear the Adventure version will be available probably from December 2018 this year. But you know, until we see the colours and the look. I do quite like the look of the Rallye version. I'm going to show you shortly in the showroom. But with the colour scheme of this one that I'm riding, I wouldn't buy it, because just as important as riding a bike is its visual impression, and for me it doesn't give the visual impression in this guise at all that makes me want to get out and polish, that sort of thing. So there's one thing to consider. The ease at which this bike will exceed speed limits is all too easy. All very too easy. Now I'm staying in top gear, and if I get an opportunity to overtake this van up here, there's a hill, if I remember rightly, this road. No overtaking. Oh, here we are, so let's see, just see. Yeah, look at that, very easy, top gear. So that's relaxing, easy to get by. So much smoother, this bike. In fact, considering it's a twin, it's quite amazing just how smooth it is. Right, so let's get to exactly 60 again. Well, I'm going to undertake that van if I go under 60. Go real 60. Anyway, we got that at 3,600 RPM, so it just seems to be revving lower. It feels like it's not revving as much, but it probably is revving just as much. Just my impression. This nice digital RPM display. I think the noticeable difference is going to be as I get back onto my bike. Lovely and smooth, really nice. Really good. Yep, if you've got the money and you want probably the best bike in the world, you're not going to go far wrong with this beastie. So here's my GS Rallye, which I love the look of. And of course, the main difference being the engine, which we know is hugely improved. The brakes, which makes no difference at all apart from the name on them. So let's go and look at the bike I've just been riding, the 1200. I much prefer the look of the spoked wheels. But yeah, really pretty much identical bodywork everywhere. Oh, the panniers all fit, so if you've already got the panniers, they'll go straight on. So if you do upgrade from one of those to one of these, it really is just an engine upgrade and display upgrade. Alright, let's go and look at the one inside the showroom, the actual Rallye one, and see what that looks like. So here is the Rallye version. I really like the look of this one. Quite different to my Rallye. Gold wheels, which are nice, apart from cleaning them. Still got this blue in the centre, but you've got this nice white here. I like that. The blue frame's gone for a white frame. But I think it looks really nice. I like that. I guess it's like chalk and cheese, but it's also got this little beak on it. I don't know what that's for, but it's a little extra. Yeah, tempting. go. Didn't think it was in gear. The clutch is quite a lot smoother than the 1250. So, how does this fare? I mean, is it feeling a lot different? What are my impressions of getting back onto the older bike? Well, these sort of speeds, not a lot of difference really. See when we get to the open road. This is where motorbikes are useful. When you don't have your big panniers on, you can slip your way through the traffic, filter your way through it, I should say. And be careful of people switching lanes like this one up here. So, I think really we've got plenty of power with this bike, but with the new 1250 you're looking at losing a much, or at least one gear down to get the same acceleration. It was trying to wheelie. This bike, I haven't, well, you can, it doesn't just wheelie under power with that bike. The 1250 does. So that noticeable torque, that's the difference. You're paying for torque, and I would think that people who are looking for power levels of equivalent to the Ducati 150 horsepower, really you're on an adventure bike. You don't need that torque, that mid-range, that grunt, that shove. And that's what the BMW's giving you. Now, obviously I'd have to ride one of the Ducatis to compare, but I'm just not interested. Don't like the look of them for a start. Chain drive, okay, yeah, it's fine, but I don't want a chain on my adventure bike. I want shaft drive. And at the end of the day, even this 1200GS is even, it's got absolutely ample power and torque. New one's got more than ample power and torque. So, some conclusions. Now I'm back on my GS. It's not quite a disappointment coming back onto this as I expected. It really isn't a disappointment at all. The new bike is quite a step forward in performance. Usable performance, that's probably the thing to consider. You know, you're not having to rev the thing up to get the performance. Well, I have to rev the thing up here, that's 6 gear, easy. Just a little nip on the throttle and you're past. So simple. Lovely. The digital display, it looks absolutely cracking. Looks a lot better than this display. However, it does the job. The problem with the digital display had the lovely speedo on view, and yet, like all speedos, it's not accurate. The accuracy is here on the GPS. So I tend to, because I've always got the GPS in place, I tend to use that. And look at that. It's my place to, you know, see how fast I'm going, set the cruise control accurately when required. The rev counter on it was very nice. but then it's a GS, and it's even more of a mid-range grunt monster. So you don't even need to look at it. Just feel the engine. So you don't even looking at the rev counter. You don't even need one, really. I don't look at the rev counter on this. So some of you may be thinking, oh, why haven't BMW changed this? Or why does it look the same? Why does it look the same suspension? Why is it... why have they just changed the engine and a bit of paint? Well, when you've got a formula that works, and you've got suspension that works as well as the GS 1200 does anyway, when you've got braking systems, okay, different brake calipers, but they seem to work the same size discs, etc. Linked brakes the same. When you've got all that stuff that works brilliantly, when you've got a bike that looks awesome, the only thing you need to do to make it look new is to different paint schemes, and that's what BMW have done. They've done what they could to improve the engine. They've increased torque. I mean, what more could you ask for? More torque. Well, a little more power, but more torque. That's what you need. Right, I've now set the cruise control to exactly 60 miles an hour. Oh, maybe not. There we are, exactly 60. And the rev counter seems to be reading around 3,700. So it's actually about pretty much the same RPM at the same speed as the new 1250. So it's just really that RPM display that fooled me to think that it actually wasn't revving as much. And I think the engine a little bit quieter, a little bit smoother to the ear, makes you think that it's having an easier time, going more gentle pace. There we are. So my conclusion after being back on the R1200GS is that this is an amazing bike still. The new one is a step up, a performance improvement, quite a big step up. And if you're in the market for an adventure bike, what do you got? Well, a bike to go long distances on in comfort with more than enough power to spare, and to be able to go out for a Sunday blast, and if you're good, blow away most super bikes, because the riders on them aren't very good. Not that I'm very good on any bike, but you could have a lot of fun, and that bike's going to give it. BMW have kept their formula, kept all the best bits of their formula, and they've added in some extra nice bits, extra pull. Yep, pretty much they know what they're doing when it comes to the adventure bikes. They were the first. Well, they still are, in my opinion, the king of adventures. Thank you for watching, Ventor. I hope you found this interesting today. If you like my videos, please do subscribe. And I really would like to hear from you. If you've got any comments, I'll see if I can answer them. If you've got any questions about the 1200GS, new 1250GS, you're thinking about one but you're still not sure, drop me a line below in this video and see what I can answer with. Thank you for watching.